why Arc Raider players feel cheated. As many of you may or may not know, the recent server slam test has concluded, right? And there was a portion of gamers, especially on the interwebs, that felt like the Arc Raiders experience was hollow for the most part, and it just was not hitting for them. Okay, now if you've been in the tech test 2 and even playing before then, you know what the full Arc Raiders experience could feel like. And I'll personally admit here that there was more content within Tech Test 1 and 2 than there was in the server slam test. Now, I don't know personally why Embark Studios has chosen to, I guess, take back some content and not really put everything out there. But my guess is that they truly wanted to see what was going to happen in the servers instead of putting a whole bunch of content out there for the world to see and have at, okay? So I feel as though the tech test play test were those sessions where we kind of got to deep dive into Arc Raiders and see what it had to offer beyond just looks. So I personally feel like there may be a disconnect in understanding what Arc Raiders truly is. And within this video here, we are going to talk about the latest updates with Arc Raiders and also discuss what's going on with the community sentiment about the server slam test. And we have a fantastic video by a fellow content creator to react to. So this is going to be an action-packed video. And if you love anything Arc Raiders related, and I know my people do, make sure you give this video a big like. And also, if you care to stay up to date with anything Arc Raiders related, consider subscribing today. So you may be wondering what's happening in the world of Arc Raiders today. Guys, recently we had a update from Embark Studios, and we have been recently provided some insight of what were the results of the server slam test. And this update reads as follows. A massive thank you, Server Slam, and what's next? To all the brave raiders who joined us for the Arc Raiders Server Slam this past weekend, from the entire team, thank you. Your participation was absolutely vital. We designed the Server Slam to stress test our systems and to collect real-world feedback, and you delivered. We are working around the clock to implement fixes and tune the game for launch. Key takeaways. Your feedback coupled with our data gives us crucial insights, and we took immediate action on several fronts. Stability. You helped us quickly identify and resolve stability issues across all platforms. During the test, we locked in even more solutions leading up to launch to ensure a smooth launch experience. The flying arcs. It turns out their awareness was a bit too high, allowing them to essentially see through trees and bushes. This made their vision unintentionally overpowered, but we have adjusted what they can see now, so expect a fairer fight at launch. The Dam Tower. We watched many of you bravely and perhaps a little too easily access the Dam Control Tower on Dam Battlegrounds. It was fun to watch, but a bit too accessible for a key loot location. That has been fixed to keep the challenge sharp. Visual difference. Some noticed visual differences between the server slam test and earlier tests on certain hardware. The default settings did change a bit to favor more performance, and we are looking into tuning it further to strike the right balance. Beyond these points, your reports help us to squash a number of bugs and helped identify and address game balance and suggested improvements to the experience. Every piece of data and feedback you provided is helping us to make Arc Raiders a better game. Here is a look at some of the community stats over the course of the server slam test. And folks, as you see here, woo, look at this breakdown of data. 30 million rounds played. The deadliest arc is the Rocketeer, and that's no mystery to me. Queens eliminated over 108,000. Total arcs destroyed 58 million. Just look at the data on the screen. This is pretty damn cool. So as you folks seen there, it seems as though the server slam was strictly about business. Okay. They wanted to ensure a smooth, clean launch for you and I. And I'm not mad at that. It's exactly how I pictured it in my mind. They were literally utilizing this time and their resources to get as many people crammed into this game and just to ensure a more optimal experience at launch, okay? And it seems as though that the data that they got back from you and I has been truly valuable, and they are making the right tweaks in the right areas. So for this week, here's an interesting fact. Arc Raiders comes in at number 2 for best seller on Steam. per Steam DB charts. As you are seeing now, folks, this is what the optics is looking like, okay? And let's be honest, this data here's not too shabby, okay? Arc Raiders is second behind Battlefield 6. Next, you have the Steam Deck. Next, you have a game called Fellowship. And then ultimately at 5, you have Escape from Duckov. And I don't know, has anybody played Escape from Duckov? Like, is it really good? Is it fun? Let me know, guys. Let me know. But nevertheless, Arc Raiders is holding its own against some juggernauts. Coming in at number 2, I'm not mad at it at all. And to be honest with you, I feel like there's going to be a lot more sales garnered once this game officially releases and people get that itch again to play some Arc Raiders. And plus, on top of that, with word of mouth, Arc Raiders is truly a volcano ready to erupt. So, according to the Arc Raiders community, there has been one feature that a lot of folks disliked within Arc Raiders, period, right? Via the latest server slam test, and the outcry was pretty big. And this was the #1 thing that gamers disliked about Arc Raiders. Check it out. So that art guy has posted a community poll where people have voted on what they dislike about Arc Raiders the most. And from what he has gathered, okay, he states this: I posted, you sounded off. The most prevalent dislike of the game thus far is the character customization. The characters are too ugly. End quote. And then moving on from there, we have this comment from Pirate Nation. He stated this about Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders will add 10 years worth of content. And then in quotes, it states, I think internally for a very long time, we referred to this Arc Raiders as a 10-year game. That is the ambition we are aiming for. And that dictates the type and the quantity, I think they meant quality, of content we want to put into it. End quote. And if you see here, I think he's kind of like trolling and showing the character customization alongside the Arc Raiders depiction of what they first have shown for their game. So Pirate Nation is sort of taking a jab at the devs and kind of saying like, yeah, right, like look what we're getting right now. And then I seen this comment under that post from DeMarcus, okay? He said, oh no, I ain't falling for that again. Bungie tried that with Destiny and look how that turned out. Even if it is Embark, I'm not buying it. Oh baby, that's some harsh words, okay? I'm not buying it. Boy, best believe you bought the game. You're verbally saying you're not buying it, but something tells me you purchased Arc Raiders, okay? Okay? Something's telling me you bought that part of it, okay? But to be honest with you, I have to trust Embark Studios until they show me otherwise. I know we have been burnt from plenty of games in the past, be it early access, full retail titles, so on and so forth. It's just the nature of the game that we are in. Did I say of the game? No pun intended, but it worked out. Hey, it worked out. It worked out. So again, with that said, we have to go in with open faith and just see where Embark Studios takes us as we go. Not everything about Arc Raiders is going to be perfect. Hence why Abel Green is here. Hence why my community and you folks are here with me to discuss Arc Raiders. We're going to go through the ups and downs, right? And to be honest with you folks, if there are downs to report, Abel Green is here. I'm going to let you guys know. And again, to be very transparent, I don't expect everything to be sunshine and rainbows. I really don't. I've been doing this way too long, and I have learned so much about the intricacies of game development. Things just don't go perfectly every time. We're going to have hills and valleys to go through. It's just the nature of the beast. But I love Arc Raiders and I'm down for it, okay? I'm down for the journey. How about you? So, as I stated earlier within this video here, it seems as though gamers were really upset and felt cheated out of the Arc Raiders full experience, right? Some gamers knew from playing previous tech tests that there was a lot more to offer within Arc Raiders, and that left some gamers that were playing the current build of the game, being the server slam test, feeling kind of shorted within their experience. Now, content creator Identity has made a video diving into just that, and we are about to check it out. You guys already know what time it is.
It is reaction time! Yeah!
So today we'll be checking out Identity's video here, and the title of his video is as follows: Arc Raiders, why everyone got the wrong impression from the server slam. Then in the thumbnail it reads, server slam misled players. And there seems to be some writing on the thumbnail as well. So we all know Identity to put out some bangers, right? But what is this gentleman talking about today, okay? We were misled? Were we? Like I said in the video, man, some gamers felt like we were cheated from the experience. We're about to dive into his thoughts here, and I'm going to provide my feedback and see what's up with this discussion. Now, guys, if you enjoy anything Arc Raiders related, you gotta check out Identity. His links will be down in the comment section below. Now, with all that said, let's hop into the reaction.
All right, the Server Slam is over, and I hope you had fun. I know I did, but there are a lot of complaints by certain people and certain players saying that the game is lackluster. It's not what I thought it was going to be. People were hyping this up. Just another extraction shooter that's going to get old in 6 months. Well, I beg to differ, but I can understand why people feel this way.
Okay.
I came across a Reddit post that one of my buddies, Vix, showed me. Let me just read it, and then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and then we'll discuss it afterwards. And I
always appreciate Identity. He just goes above and beyond with the discussion pieces. I really enjoy it. Let's continue.
Quote, I want to start off by saying that I absolutely love Arc Raiders. I played the Tech Test 2 a ton and got to experience everything it had to offer, even taking down the Queen. Now, with that being said, I think this Server Slam does a really bad job at introducing potential players into some parts of the game and its systems. The level cap, inability to upgrade benches, the one map, etc. paints the game in a bad light to someone who didn't get to play the Tech Test 2 and doesn't know any better. Most of the loot you're supposed to care about is useless in the Server Slam. All one can do with most rare and above is to loot and sell it. All the available benches can be built in 2 hours and not only can't be upgraded, but you can't even see what the upgrades or other benches would have to offer. A lot of the coolest items and weapons won't be seen by the vast majority of players, so they won't even know what they're missing out on. And although people know this is a test, a lot of impressions I've seen of the game seem to prove the point that the Server Slam wasn't done the way it should have been done, and that a lot of players have the wrong impression of the game. This is proven by opinions such as the Arc are OP. I think so too, if all I knew was fighting them with a kettle and had very little way to get better gear. The progress system seems lackluster. I think so too, if everything there was to progress could be done in a few hours, and said progress wouldn't even give you anything new. Character feels sloppy. Being locked at level 15 upgrades would leave the same impression on me. And these are just some of the top off my head. And this makes so much sense.
If you were experiencing Arc Raiders for the first time, folks, please listen to this. Please listen to this, my people. If you guys were experiencing Arc Raiders for the first time and you felt like content wasn't hitting on all fronts and there was just a lot left to be desired, you're right. Factually, you're right. Within the previous test that we had of the game, we had a lot more content to sink our teeth into, and there was just a lot less behind walls. Okay, there was more to experience, and also don't quote me on this, I believe we got to play some different maps as well. So playing the Server Slam test was kind of like a regression backwards. Okay, and especially for new folks coming into the game, they're probably like, wait, that's it? Like that? This is all we do? Respectively, yeah, like, yeah, okay. So they got to see somewhat of what the gameplay loop had to offer, but some folks, I could see why they might be like, I'm not completely sold on this. Respectively, I could see that. I could see that. Even though I know most of my folks at home, I know most of you guys are really thrilled to play the game, just like myself. Like, and we know what it is, right? We know that there's more to this experience, but some gamers might feel jaded and might be like, well, this is it. Like I played better, or I've seen more, I've done more in XYZ game. And mind you guys, this was just a Server Slam test, you know, and some people really want a lot more from the experience, you know. But that's just honestly one of the criticism that Arc Raiders just has to deal with via that Server Slam test. Not that they done everything incorrectly here, because they just wanted the data to extrapolate and fix bugs and shit like that, but they did leave a taste in some gamers' mouths that was not savory.
I was actually playing with some people who never played Arc Raiders, never heard of Arc Raiders, and I was like, hey, download this Server Slam, you're gonna love it, join on me and we'll get it going. One of my friends named Pat Duke kept complaining over and over again about the Arc, saying, they need to be toned down, they're just too strong. I mean, we're trying to get from point A to point B and we're just dying, not even doing anything, just alerting Arc, and you don't even have the weapons to fight against them.
Some gamers were just getting straight destroyed. I mean destroyed. Okay, Summit G1, anybody? Okay. Some folks don't know how to go about battling the Ark, right? And then again, some of the weapon levels and weapons that we had to essentially play with couldn't remedy the issue with the Ark, right? To really take them on. You would either waste a ton of ammo. I know I did. Just battling the Ark. You know what I mean? Have you ever just been out there just shooting at the Ark and you're like, wow, I'm spending 200 rounds on this motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's a lot. It's a lot. So I get why some gamers feel like, hey, the Ark was really turned up and these guys were just really OP in a way. But honest to God, we just had content that was not privy to us and we had things to remedy those situations, but it could not be on display within the server slam test, unfortunately.
We were sitting there fighting a Rocketeer for like 5 minutes.
I know the
and
feeling.
All it ended up doing was utilizing all of our ammo, so we just extracted.
Yep, exactly.
Have anything much to extract. The point is, he didn't really like how overtuned Arks were. And honestly, I was a little bit surprised about the server slam as opposed to the tech test too, because in the tech test, you can get almost everything. The sky was the limit. You can go further on the skill tree, explore that more, and it just felt like a full experience.
If you played the other previous builds of the game, right, before the server slam test, you know the experience was much more richer. He's definitely right here. No lie detected. The experience was just more richer in those previous playtests. Simple as that.
Which is why so many people got addicted. And so this person is right when they're talking about on Reddit that many people aren't really going to look at this game as something that is extraordinary like people who experienced the tech test did. They're going to be like, oh, this is it? Because there's so much more in the tech test that we experienced that other players haven't, mainly being these legendary weapons, which is called the Equalizer, and you have the Charge Rifle. They both take energy, ammo, and destroy Ark. They deal insane damage to Ark enemies, and they basically don't really perform that well against players, but perform excellent against Ark. We weren't even able to experience these at all in the server slam. The server slam was pretty much for the developers to safeguard their game, to know how stable it would be with the insane amount of players that were on the server at the same time. And I think it was successful. I didn't really have any problems. I crashed a few times, but that's it.
I agree. For the most part, I agree. It definitely was successful.
Overall, I had a smooth experience. So I think this gives the developers a green light to go ahead and push out the game on the 30th, which I can't wait for. But I think that this post on Reddit gives a lot of perspective as to what the game feels like just to play overall. It doesn't give a full perspective of what you'll experience in the game. You just have to basically play the game to see that for yourself, because there's tons of things to do. You have like 5 benches to upgrade. You have different tiers of shields. You have different tiers of attachments. And I honestly was able to experience a taste of legendary. In the game, I found a legendary stock that I put on my kettle, and it drastically increased the recoil reduction. It did like 3 things, so it was really amazing just to have that and experience that. So it made me feel like, man, what else can I get in this game? You weren't able to get anything more than a medium shield, and you can definitely tell the difference between a medium and a light shield.
Oh yeah.
The fact that you can compare all this stuff, the way that the free loadouts give you a chance to test out weapons and build up your...
Guys, I'm watching this gameplay and I fucking missed the game already. Anybody else just watching, just like, fuck, I want to hop back in. I'm watching this and I'm just like, yo, oh my God, I'm so terrible. I'm so terrible.
The different tiers of loot that you can get, you know, the pillows, the cat beds, and all of the items that had these diamonds next to them, which signify that you can sell them for coin and get more things to craft. So I think that as a new player coming and experiencing this server slam, you should give it a chance. I know that the game was fun. It's a great game. I mean,
look at that leaper just stuck there under the staircase. That's hilarious.
If you didn't like the game, I guess that's just your preference, because the movement, the gunplay, the weapon feel, the enemies, the PvP engagements, all of it is amazing, in my opinion.
Yep.
It's just
same
a great game overall. But I do believe that this server slam misled some people in a way. It could have been done better. I think that they should have allowed more for people to do more of a 15 level cap. I reached that and I wasn't able to get anywhere else. They should have allowed us to get more things, do more things, because I know this was a stress test for you developers at Embark, but if you wanted more people to be interested in your game, this was the time to do it. And I thought they were going to go all out here, but I guess I was wrong. Anyways, what I'd say finally in this video is just to give it a chance, play the game, and experience it in its full glory. You were at least able to play the game and see what it's like, to see how it feels. And honestly, this game is not for casuals. It's not. Okay,
that's real.
You're gonna run into
that's
PvP
real.
engagements,
Yeah,
and that's just the reality of it. You're just gonna have to eventually learn the ropes, understand how it is to maneuver, get better. And if you don't want to fight, you don't have to. I mean, you can scope out the scene from a distance. Most mistakes people make is when they see a player and immediately engage without understanding what's going on, because gunfights automatically draw arc, they draw players, and eventually one strategy that you planned on before the match ends up being something completely different, and a good run goes bad quick. Anyway,
he's totally right about that. I stressed that in my other video. You have to use discretionary thought when you play Arc Raiders. You just can't take on every battle, guys. As a friend to you guys, as a friend to my audience, as a friend to the person I'm talking to right now on the screen, you can't take on every engagement. You just can't. You have to be wise in your encounters in Arc Raiders, right? You can't take every PvP fight, and you definitely can't take on every Arc fight. You're not going to win them, okay? You're going to bring more attention to yourself and make things more difficult on your set excursion, right? And you don't want that. You don't want that. A lot of gamers have to be wise in certain instances and know when to use caution. So guys, the concerns that Identity brought forth within this video here, were they valid? Were his concerns valid here? I think so, okay? There were a lot of gamers that felt just like this Reddit poster within this video here. They felt like they got cheated out of an experience, and they felt like it was ultimately a shallow experience overall, and that's really unfortunate. I wish they could have played the previous tests, because those tests were a lot more rich in content and would have provided a better overall picture for Arc Raiders, but that just simply wasn't the case. And then you have gamers such as this that are outcrying and letting the community know, like, hey, this game isn't all that, even though we know between you and I otherwise, okay? But that's just something that you got to deal with if you only got to play a certain slice of Arc Raiders. We just got to respect other people's gaming experiences and their takes, okay? So if you did not check out my last Arc Raiders video, it was a banger. Be sure to click here, and I'll be sure to see you there.